welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker, and we're looking at a tea, actually a tea from a tea company that I have not looked at in quite a while. So it's going to be kind of nice to come back and kind of get reintroduced to see a little bit about this, more about this company, what kind of teas they have sourced and offer since I last looked at some of their teas. So let's go ahead. This is a Chinese Oolong. I've got out my Chinese style Gaiwan here. I'm going to go ahead and get this going. Now my water's been brought to a boil and it's been cooling for just about a minute actually. So it's still got plenty of heat to it. I'm adding enough. I'm just kind of gently using my finger, scooping in, raking it out enough to really cover the bottom inch to inch and a half of my 4-ounce Gaiwan here. So it looks good. Let me close this up just for a second because I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Add my water. I'm going to bring enough water so that a little bit rests above the rim of my lid. And I kind of swirled my water around as well so that all the leaves got coated with water. No dry portions floating above the surface of the water, so that's good. Let me kind of move these away from the edge. Set my lid on there. There we go. Slide this over. And now I can talk a little bit about this tea and the tea company that I was mentioning. This is from 7Cups. This is their TieLuoHan, which is a type of Wuyi Oolong from Fujian province. This is their 2010. You can find 50 grams available for $20.80. That's a little steep. But the angle, the approach that 7Cups uses is that they go in, they know their tea providers, they're knowledgeable in the craft of tea making, so that they're more able to discern. I guess it's part of their image that they're able to discern the good quality teas from the poorer quality. So they offer a higher range of tea. They even tell us the name of the tea master, Mr. Liu Guoying, was the one who crafted this tea. The harvest period was April to May of 2010. And you can find out a little bit more information about this particular tea on 7Cups website on their product page for the TieLuoHan. But aside from that, I do want to kind of go in and talk about the aspects of this tea, the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. First off, I would say, as far as TieLuoHans go, this one's got one of the nicer aromas that I've come across in a while. It's got some of the dark, it's got some roasted element there. It's got some toasted oat aspect to it. You know, if you kind of exhale through your nose and bring in some heat onto those leaves, you get a little bit of a spicy type of orange peel. You get a little bit of a sweet woodiness, faint lighter below that, kind of a cedar type of note. So there's a lot of just masculine notes going on in this tea, or in the aroma of this dry leaf. Looking at this dry leaf, good size. I mean, you're getting leaves that are an inch and a half and longer in a lot of cases. This particular scoop it has some smaller inch leaf portions, but the majority are larger than that. Leaf color is that fairly usual ochre or seal brown type of grayish brown color. As far as glossiness goes, it's not a dull flat, but it's kind of just in the medium. It's not overly glossy and it's not overly dull or flat either. So it just looks like it's kind of a matte type of coloring or gloss to it, if I could say it, matte type of sheen. So that takes care of our dry leaf. I'm not going to really go into a whole lot more analysis on that. Seal this up and set this over to the side so we can talk about this. Talk a little bit more about the wet leaf here and give it a pour as well. So I get out my pitcher here, angle my lid over to the side so I've got a place to pour from. And middle finger and thumb holding the bowl, index finger holding the lid in place. Nice smooth pour there. You'll notice, I mean, as usual, this is my standard procedure. This is the way I kind of I should present teas in the similar manner so that they all get the same treatment here. I'm going to go ahead now, before we get into the liquor though, get that a swirl around a little bit, but I'm going to talk about this wet leaf now. That smoky aspect has kind of fallen by the dissipated, I would say. I'm getting more of a sweeter type of note, and this is more like almost like a sandalwood. There's some kind of sweet, woody type of note coming off. Beginning to get floral as it cools. Yeah, the floral notes, the sweeter notes are starting to pick up, and so you're getting more of a, dare I even say, kind of an osmanthus type sweetness there coming out. That, not to say that there's any kind of osmanthus background to this, that there's any kind of osmanthus flavoring or oils that's been added to this. This is all kind of natural components of this particular tea, and the way it's been treated, the way it's been processed, I should say. Let's pull out a few of these leaves now. Here's a leaf that fairly intact, looks like nearly the whole leaf. About an inch to inch and a half in length. The edges are a little bit rougher, and I can actually kind of hold it up to the light. The edges got a lot more oxidation, looks like. They're more of a reddish color. Most of this leaf is fairly supple. Let's see, let's pull out a larger one here. Here's one that has not fully unfurled. I'm going to kind of tease it apart a little bit with my fingers, flatten it out some. A little bit thicker, but not leathery by any means, just sturdy. It's not very supple or elastic. It's tearing or more brittle, I would say. One more leaf just to kind of show that this one has not yet fully unfurled either. Leaves have lightened up. They've got more of a kind of a deep greenish gray type of color now, as far as the wet leaves go. But you can set that aside now and really get into this liquor. And to do so, let's go ahead and look at the color for a moment. Rich color. This is a good auburn type. There's a nice orangish reddish brown to this color here. It's a nice clear. I mean, a nice color or consistency looking through it. It's not cloudy or murky by any means. It's bright looking. It's not dull or flat. Still those toasted notes coming out again. So that's good. Let's give it a try here. One more shot I gotta give this. Softer in the back, sweeter. Now I got a nice kind of silken consistency going on here. So those are all positives. Let me let this cool just a little bit. Maybe it's my crude American palate, but I like to have a little bit of a zesty or a tangy kind of bite to this. That often comes out as the tea cools just a little bit. There it is. As it cooled a little bit, perhaps I wasn't looking for it enough. Maybe I'm straining to look for it a little too much now, but it's there. A nice, light, puckery bite that just kind of draws the under part of your tongue, kind of makes your tongue want to kind of curl under itself. That's nice. So with the aftertaste going on here, you still got the sweetness there that's building, and it balances well with the texture, the coating that's going on there. So it's not it's smooth, it's silken, it's sweet, and it doesn't drop off and get harsh or watery by any means. And there's still this kind of hint that you had fish eating an orange. There's this faint kind of residue of a zest in the back of the mouth, a residue of a tangy aspect there as well. So when I look at this tea as a whole, I'm going to give this tea a high score. I feel like it's a delightful tea compared to other TieLuoHans that I've tasted. It's in the forefront. So I would give this tea a 93. There's another one that I tasted way back, and I have to go back and actually taste them side by side to see how they compare to each other. But this one is way up there. So come back to Walker Tea Review. Look for those teas that are way up there, the ones that you want to just take a pass on, and the ones that you may just want to use for a daily sip.